Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of History Before Us. And I'm on a very busy street right now, but there's a good reason in which why this street is busy, and Kaylee's going to let us know why. I am in Kernersville, North Carolina, a stone's throw away from Winston-Salem, and every time I come up this way, I've always wanted to stop by this spot because this house looks so interesting, and I follow you all on Instagram and everything, and I see how unique the house looks, and I'm like, I got to go there one day, right? And so I am here now, and I'm going to show you all the signs so you'll know. Kerner's Folly. Now, I was saying Korner's Folly, yes, because that's the Tennessee in me, right? Circa 1880, and like you had mentioned, Kaylee, come in, you are at home. Right out the gate. Right out the gate. How you doing, Kaylee?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Kaylee is going to guide us through this 6,000 square foot home. Mm-hmm. Now, we may not be able to cover all 6,000 square feet because that's a lot, right? But we're in for a pretty dope tour. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Absolutely. So can you give us the architecture style of this, where we're at? You had mentioned that this road was very important to get to Winston-Salem. Can you break all that down for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So the home was built in 1880, as you saw from the sign behind you. This house was built basically to be a living catalog for Jule Körner's interior design business. And originally the house only had 11 rooms, and they were on this side of the home.
You say only 11 rooms?
Only 11 rooms. And there was actually an open carriageway that went right through the middle of the house. So the horses would go right through the middle of the home. I like to jokingly call it a horse port for kids, rather than a carport like we have today. On the other side of the house were the stables. So they were actually all connected. But when Jule got married to his wife in 1886, she decided that she didn't want the horses or the cows in the house. So they kicked them out, closed off the home, and added 11 more rooms. Right. So you get to see 22 rooms. I mentioned it was 6,000 square feet. It's really close to 6,000. It's about 5,997. Wow. So it's still a ton of square feet to see.
We're going to round up.
Absolutely, we're going to round up. It's easier to say it that way. But we describe the home as Victorian eclectic. So you'll see that once you get in, kind of what that means.
Okay, good stuff. And like you had mentioned, as you all see, this road is very, very busy. Even though this is a small town USA, this is still a very busy road. Why is this road so busy?
So he built the house really close to the roads that people would see it as they came into town. Say if you wanted to get to Winston-Salem or Greensboro, you would have had to go along this street. The railroad is also right down the road. So you'll be able to, say, get off the train and then come in, and you'll see this big house basically about 2 miles down the road. Wow. So it's really close to the railroad, and was also close to where you ever needed to go, say if that was Winston-Salem or Greensboro.
Okay, good stuff. Well, let's get to where it's a little bit more quieter. And so can you discern the name Kerner's? Well, first off, let me say, am I saying it right?
Yes, you are saying it right. Kerner's Folly.
Okay. Mr. Körner, let us know about him, because some people may not necessarily know that. And as you all see right here, 1880 is everywhere, right? So this was post-emancipation, of course, even though the house looks very, very, very old. But tell us about Mr. Körner.
Mr. Körner, so he actually was from this area. His grandfather, Joseph Körner, is the person who settled the town in 1878, I believe it was. But he settled the town. And then Jule actually built the home. The last name, the original spelling of Körner was the K-O with the umlaut. But then to Americanize it, they added the E. But Jule went back to that German spelling.
Okay, so that's what I was about to ask. What were the origins of it? Okay, got you. And what was he in? What type of work did he do?
So he actually, the paper is in the smoke room. I'll point it out when we get into the smoking room.
Cool.
But he did work with Bull Durham Tobacco.
Of course, North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. So he did work with them. He did advertisement. He actually he painted bulls on the sides of barns and buildings right over here. So he would actually paint this on the side of the buildings, and he would
So he would do the painting.
He would, but it was really cool the way he did it. He would do it anonymously, and then he would sign it Reuben Rink on the bottom. So it's important to remember that part of the name once we get to the interior design aspect of the house.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And so when I think of, obviously, Durham, right? So did he have a connection in Durham, North Carolina? Or was it
Not
just...
really, just the business aspect.
Just the business.
They actually loved the work he did. It was actually known to be the first outdoor advertisement in America. There's actually a fun myth about it that the bull made it all the way to the side of Egypt's pyramids. What? So it's a big myth, but it's really cool to think about. But the reason there is a fence right here, it was actually strategically placed. So the bulls are painted anatomically correct. And then Jule would write into the papers, acting like this vain Victorian lady that should not have seen this. And then Jule Körner, this is him right here. Okay. He would write, he would go in and he would paint a fence strategically over that part of the bull. to fix the painting.
No, you're fine.
But this part, he would write into the paper, acting like a vain Victorian lady, and then he would actually come in and save the day, painting over the bull right here. So if you ever see a bull Durham bull on the side of the building, that's where that came from. That was the story. Yeah.
And this right here would be where the horses would...
They would come right in. The porches weren't here yet, of course.
Yeah.
Those were added more towards the early 1920s.
Was that unique to here, or was that something during the time period that just...
Just unique in general.
Yeah, it seems like it.
But once the porches were added, this all was added as well. This would have actually been down with the street level. I believe the street level was a little bit higher at the time, but you would have had steps. So if you needed to, you could go in to the living area, which is now the master bedroom.
Okay.
Or you could have gone around the house to the right and then gone into the stables on the other side.
Okay.
The stables aren't like that today, of course. They're now the library and the den, but it's still really cool to see or imagine it that way.
Nice. So where are we going first?
So first is the foyer. I like to point out Jule Körner. Yep. I tell people if they're taller.
This is him, older. That was him.
That was him younger. That was a self-portrait he did when he was 23.
Self-portrait?
Self-portrait, yeah. Okay. But this is his cardboard cutout, and all of our cardboard cutouts are height accurate. So if you're taller than him, which you are, Frederick, you'll have to duck in a few of the rooms today and going down some of the stairs. So just use caution as you're moving around.
Sweet.
And we also have a ton of lips and dips between most of the doorways. So just be careful as you're moving in and out. I'll try to point them out before I get going into those rooms.
All right, let's make it happen.
One more thing, I'm so sorry. That fireplace.
So like this room right here, right? Or this?
Yep. So this room right here, if you would have gone through this way, you would have got to the stables.
Okay.
But this is our first fireplace. There are 15 different fireplaces throughout the home. 15.
Wow. And you said outside that 90% of
the home is
items
original.
are original.
These buffets were actually put together in this room, and they have not been moved since. So.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are all, this one's a little bit easier to tell, but it's leather pressed into it. So. That's where you can't touch it, unfortunately, but you're able to really see.
I'm paying attention, you all. Look, I read that before I just started doing my instinctual thing and touching.
It's very instinctual, especially with how many different types of textures that you see throughout the home. This wallpaper right here, you can't really see it through a camera, but it is velvet wallpaper.
Oh, wow. Let me zoom it in just a little bit closer, you all. Yeah, I can definitely tell. It's velvet.
But yeah, you'll see different types of leather carvings, or you'll also see like iron plates on the inside of the fireplaces.
Do we know, as it relates to the construction of the home, who would have been, did he hire out local help? Like, what was happening with that? Do we know?
Local, and it really just depended on where he was as well, just trying to get whoever more so locally than anything. But it really depended on the project he was doing. Okay. For instance, the man who painted all the murals, Caesar Milch, he, I believe he was from Germany, and he actually lived in the home while he was painting all the ceilings. Okay. Same with the person who laid all the tiles. He actually lived in the home as well. Okay. Took him 2 years to lay all of those penny tiles that you saw while we were walking inside.
Yeah,
I saw that. This would have been their dining room. So they would have pulled the table off the wall, of course, and then they would have had chairs around it if they needed, but they wouldn't have really used this room unless it was for more formal dining. And we also have images throughout the house so you can see what the home looked like originally. So you'll see those big buffets are still sitting there.
When was there a period in where the house was not in use? And when was it last lived in? Do we know?
Last lived in was when Polly Alice passed away. She actually passed away.
1922.
Yeah. Or no, Caesar Milch passed away in 1922. Polly Alice actually passed away in 1934.
Okay, so 1934 was the last person.
To fully live in that home.
Yeah, 1934, okay. And this right, I mean, y'all, this house is really unique. Look.
So that's actually the playrooms. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But originally that would have been his main office. So if people came in on the horse and carriage, he would be able to just yell down and be like, "Hey, I'm right up here. I'll come down and meet you," and come down that way.
Quite interesting.
Very interesting. Very eclectic, which is why we say Victorian eclectic. But you're probably wondering, late 1800s, how are we cooling the house? So Jule actually put, there are 3 right here. One here, one right next to the door of the dining room, and then one right by the foyer. So these would have actually been removed during the summertime, and metal grates would have been put over the top to bring the cool air into the house. Wow. And then that cool air could be carried, say, like into the playrooms, or it could be carried, say, into the den. It really just depended on where he wanted it. He was really big on ventilation.
But mostly in some of these homes, there's like windows, but I don't see like a lot of windows in this front area especially right here, right? Yeah, well, originally... Did this keep it that cool when you... Really?
It would have. You can, I can lift this one up and we can feel it for you if you'd like. Right here. I like to open this one because there's a little beam in it. But if you reach just a little bit, you can kind of feel it. It's not as warm as it is outside.
Yeah, I can feel it.
So that cool air could have been easily brought into the house from underneath.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now we're going into the breakfast room. This room would have more so been used during breakfast time, of course. It's in the name of the room. But we also would have used this room for most of the meals, say if they weren't as formal for the dining room. So say if there weren't any clients or other family in town, they would have mainly had meals in here. You can kind of see here, we have tons of plants within this image. And if you look up, you'll also see there are skylights. These are known to be the first skylights in a privately owned home in North Carolina.
Wow.
But that light would have made this room really easy, say if you had plants inside, to keep the home and all the plants inside. Polly Alice, his wife, wanted to have all of her plants inside. She could easily have them in this room right here.
So the first of its kind in a private home.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, absolutely. And the light coming in also helped, especially in the morning time, to wake you up. So once you're having your breakfast, all the light's like shining through this way. And as it moves throughout the house, it continues to keep the house light throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So we are off to the main kitchen. There's also a pass-through window right here. So you could have passed food through, or once you were done, you could have passed food back through.
Did he ever mention like what, in any writings or anything like that, who inspired him from a design standpoint? Because like we're talking 1880 and all these little details that now are looked at as luxury, right? Like
well, and interior design wasn't really a big thing back then.
Sure.
He really enjoyed decorating and home furnishing, designing furniture, designing homes in general. What he actually was asked to move to New York to do work with Bull Durham Tobacco, and he loved doing the advertisement through the home, so like the living catalog. He liked that so much more that he was turning down $1 million deal to stay here and just work on the home.
Wow.
Yeah. So this room is actually
$1 million in 1880.
It would have been, which would have been tons now. Yeah. This room is actually one of my favorite, mainly because it's the kitchen. I love food.
Yeah.
But over, I usually show this room from here over.
Okay.
So right over here, they would have had ice blocks down here, and you could have lifted that up to put them in. This would have actually been the refrigerator. So they would have kept all the refrigerator. And you can kind of see the lips on the wall in there. There would have been shelves. And you could have stored the food right there. I usually describe it as if you've seen the movie Frozen at the beginning of the movie, the ice blocks that they're cutting, that would have been placed down there. Okay. And there's like the tools that they would have used to put the ice blocks in the bottom hatch.
Okay.
Going further over, this one's also really fun to note. So he has tons of built-ins throughout the home. This is one of them. Right here, you could actually pass flour through a hole on the top. Oh, wow. And then you could see where the flour was at with these clear circles right here.
That is, man.
It's wild.
It is. And was he just like self-taught, or did he go to any type of...
He went to like world fairs and would get ideas from there. But most of the work he did, for example, like the self-portrait at the front door, it's a really good way of showing he was an artist. And he loved design, and he loved to show off what he could do. And this is just like a fun little quirk of his. And as you move further into the room, you'll see over here this weird looking shelf. So this is actually outside, but kind of inside.
And at
so
the same
you
time,
could,
yes.
Yep, you could open these and say if you had pies or something that needed cooling off, you would actually open it and put the pies on the pie safe.
Okay. I'm hungry and I see this bacon and egg and bread.
And they
over
look
here.
delicious, but I promise they are
It's not edible, y'all.
No. As we move throughout the home, you'll also see there are plaques through most of the doorways. Those highlight the different people that helped us restore the rooms throughout the house. We have 17 of the 22 rooms restored. We try and do a different restoration project every year. You can kind of see our next one through the window right here. This will be our next restoration project. We're restoring the pergola. So you'll see the top of the pergola has an interesting shape that has many different purposes. Originally, it was a part of the carriageway, and then it turned into the children's playhouse. It actually had windows and doors on the outside. Okay. And then once the stables were torn down, they're right down the street. You might be able to see them from here. But yeah, where you can kind of see like the playground down that way. Yep. That is where the stables used to be. Okay. And that's where that little pergola used to be as well.
This year just moved it over.
Yeah. But that's going to be our next restoration project. It is on June 4th.
Is this the only home that he designed in North Carolina?
I don't believe the only home. He also did a lot of churches. So interior artwork on the churches. He did the church that's right outside to the left as well. Yeah. And if you have time, or if you go look over there, we also have where Jule and his family is buried. It's encased in the brick area there. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure he designed that too, right? He already know what he wanted, right?
So it's actually quite a funny story, or a really cool story. Aunt Dealey, she was the family's nanny at the time. She actually raised Jule. So his mother passed away when he was really young. And when she passed away, she was of native descent. And so the Kerner family did not want her buried with them. And Jule was like, well, she's my family. She's going to be buried. So he purchased the area right next to the cemetery and bricked it in just for her.
Just for her.
And then he made sure all of his family was buried there as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the cellar. Probably felt the cool air once you walked down here.
Yeah, it feels good.
We're actually underground level. So over here, you'll see the floor that connects up with the dining room.
Yep.
So we're basically underneath the ground right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And just another proof that the home is fully encased in brick. You can see some brick here as well.
Sure enough can.
This is a fun door. This is actually the most narrow door in the entire house.
Yeah.
So coming through here.
Yeah, this is like super duper narrow. Like he didn't put people's size and weight in consideration.
He made do with the space he had for sure.
This is true.
I feel like they need to see you going through it.
I got somewhat broad shoulders, so it was tough getting through there. Let me show y'all real quick. That's how.
So that is the narrowest door in the house.
See how
And
narrow
that
it is?
staircase right there actually leads up to the dining room.
Okay.
So it could have been used as a pass-through if they needed to.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is the smoking room. This also has some images of the work that Jule did with Bull Durham tobacco. There's that fence that I talked about at the beginning. And then if you look over here, there's just another example of the paintings that he would do with Bull Durham tobacco.
Yeah, so that relationship, obviously, with Bull Durham tobacco was one that was very fruitful financially and just from a marketing standpoint as well.
He was the marketing genius for his time, absolutely. You really wouldn't think about putting things on like the sides of barns or buildings just to kind of bring focus into a business back then. But now you see them everywhere. So it's kind of cool to see where it started from, especially.
Yeah, especially, I go to Durham a lot. And so now to know that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you'll chuckle every time you see
Yeah,
him now.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that his
It's
pipe?
not his, it's a family member's. Jule wasn't a big smoker, but he wanted his clients to have a space where they felt like they could smoke if they needed to or wanted to at that time. This room was also right next to the watering well, so he could easily get water in. He was terrified of fire and terrified of flames getting the house, because this was his baby, this was his home. So he wanted it to be as close to the house as possible so he could get stuff in, like water. Realistically, he would have more so wanted to get all the furniture out of the house rather than get like water into it to let the fire out. But thankfully, with this home being fully encased in brick, the idea is that you could really close the doors and contain the fire to that room. This is also, used to be his cutting board. So you can really see like the cut marks throughout and here from the knife. So the big butcher's block. This used to be the kitchen. So remember how that side was the stables over there. So originally before this side turned into the smoking room, it would have been the kitchens at that time. A fun thing to note, this window is actually connected to the playrooms right above us.
So it goes straight up.
It goes straight up. And it looks really cool from the outside because it looks like there's a rocking horse floating, but it's actually just on the floor above it. Yeah, so it shows he just really divided the home to fit the family's needs at the time and made do with what he had and the space he had, and he was okay with it.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you need me to speed up, let me know. I'm happy to.
You're good.
So this is the north stair entrance. This would have been mainly their main entrance, but he also really didn't have a front door. He had doors on all sides of the house.
Yeah,
You could
see that.
really come in any of the doors. This one has really beautiful inlay on the fireplace.
Yeah, I love this.
And with having 15 different fireplaces, he wanted to show all the options you could have too. This was all done with the American Encaustic Tiling Company. They don't operate anymore, but they did a ton of work within the house with the tiling here. If you actually stand here and look up, you can see all the way up to the theater.
Oh, there's a theater in this house too.
Yes,
Well, of
so
course,
there's
you
a
got
theater.
6,000 square feet, so why would there not be, right? And it's so cool, the air coming down. I mean, it feels really, really, really cool right here.
So now we're gonna go into the master bedroom.
All right.
You'll see the pole right here. That could have been used to put a curtain, so a heavier curtain or a lighter curtain during the summertime. And it would really add like more privacy to the room if you needed, because this was the master bedroom. But the air could still flow through the top of the door.
He had it figured out.
He did.
That's for sure. Did he have any siblings? And
He did have some siblings, and he only ended up having 2 kids,
okay.
which wasn't really normal back then during the Victorian era. But he only had two, Dory and Gilmer. We have their cardboard cutout up there.
Okay.
But this room was the master bedroom, and it was on the first floor, which was really beneficial to them when they had kids. So they were easily able to look out the window and see their kids playing outside without having to be right next to them. So it kept a really close eye on them.
And was there like farmland around, or were there?
There was a little
this like
bit.
a main street that housed homes?
Yeah, it was this. This was like the main street. The farm that they used, it was off the land, like the different types of food that they would get for their crops.
Okay.
So that was off of here. And here we also had the fireplace. This big arch connects to the outside of the house, so the fireplace flue flows through here. And then you'll also see this is Polly, her cardboard cutout. It scares everybody. I know. It scares me sometimes too.
Whew.
But honestly, I'd rather it stay there because if we move it, then it's going to scare me
Yo,
more.
look, this is
Polly Alice.
Polly, you got me.
Yeah, she got someone the other day too, and I was like, I swear, there's nothing. I promise, I would not be here if there were. And that happens with Jules sometimes too.
Oh man.
But yeah, Polly Alice, her cardboard cutout is in there. We have cardboard cutouts of all the families, so
Okay.
just be aware of that
thank
as we
you.
move through. There's one in the playroom as we go up to the
heart
next
rate
room.
down.
Yeah, gets you ready for the stairs for sure. But you'll also note there's like window or mirrors here. You'll see that those mirrors look like they're falling apart a bit, and that's because they were made with mercury. There's a mirror in the house that's actually made with diamond dust, so it sparkles when you shine a flashlight on it.
Yeah, I
it's
can't wait
really
to see
cool.
that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So we have Polly Alice here. She was amazing. She really wanted the best not only for her kids, but for her community and her town. Her dad was the chief in Winston-Salem. So Polly Alice Maston. But originally this room was used as the pantry, so you would have had these cabinets up here. There would have been a rolling ladder to get to those cabinets. But then once they added the other 11 rooms, this changed into the dressing room.
Okay.
So they could have stored different types of like suitcases, top hats, different things like that. This is a dressing case. So this was a gift to Polly Alice. I believe it was sorry, my brain's all blank today.
No, it's all good.
1884. So this is before they got married. And this dressing case would have been used it would have transported with her. It would have also had different types. It still has like combs, brushes. I can show you if you want.
Is her hair in it? Does it still have some of her hair in it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So this is actually on loan from Patty. She's amazing. She brings us some different things throughout the home, but the red dye really will get on you.
Okay.
Here we go. So you can kind of see what it looks like right here.
Yeah.
But it's great that she's able to still have like furniture from the family, and she'll bring it to different events, and she'll have it on display. So it's cool
And
to
she's
see.
a descendant?
Yes.
Okay. She live
Yes.
local?
She lives about Charlotte area.
Okay.
It's not too far from here. She comes down for Christmas and she'll help decorate a room. And we also have our Folly flower show during the summertime.
Okay.
And she'll decorate a room. So she'll bring different things then as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's tons of different Kerner descents all around.
With the last name Kerner?
With the last name Kerner or Wolf.
Or Wolf.
So depending on which side of the family you got married to.
Okay.
Say if you got married to Gilmer, it would have been a Wolf. But if you got married to Dory, or no, sorry, my brain's all over the place. But yeah, it would have been like Wolf or Kerner. It really just depended on which side of the family you married
Now
into.
this ceiling is low.
Yeah.
You know, like this ceiling is real low. Okay.
We won't spend too much time in here if you don't want to.
So look at me. Like my head is look at me.
Like
My
perfect
head is
height for this room. Yeah.
hitting the ceiling right now.
Yeah, it's your testament to the cardboard cutout theory with Jule Körner downstairs. So
Yeah,
if you're taller
yeah.
than this cardboard cutout, you have to duck.
But this room was for the kids.
It was the playroom, yeah.
this
So it
was
was
the
used for the
playroom.
kids. It actually goes down to the dining room to kind of give you more perspective on where we are in the house.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so obviously after the kids hit a certain age, they stopped playing up here.
Yeah, once they hit their teen years, he actually had rooms put upstairs for them. So the rose room and the blue room.
Okay, yeah.
But when the kids were old enough to not be in here, he would have had like Caesar Milch would have been, I believe, in this room. So the person that painted all the ceilings, he would have been in the house as well. He would have been over here. And then if he just had guests, they would be staying over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you notice there was an animal with the cardboard
I
cutouts?
did, yeah.
Did you see what type of animal it was?
No.
If you want to try guessing, it's a fun one.
It's a raccoon.
It's a raccoon.
I thought it was a cat. I just glanced at it real quick.
Yeah, so
they had a
Polly-
pet raccoon.
Yep, Polly Alice didn't want the horses and the cows, but they ended up getting a raccoon in the process. They also had a ton of cats. There's a great poem that Dory was writing in the Rose Room, and it talks about all the different cat names. And then at the middle, she's like, I shall not name them all. And I was like, you should. They're so cool. But yeah, it just shows how much they cared not only for their family, but like their pets as well back then. But yeah, that's Bob the raccoon. They would have
Bob the
carried him
raccoon.
around. He was a trained pet raccoon, and he just kind of went around with them wherever they went. The next room we're going to go into is the Rose Room.
And how many floors?
It's 3 floors, but 7 levels.
gracious.
Oh, so that window we were in, did you see how that one?
Yeah,
that
that's
one
the one that came
connected.
straight
Yep,
up. Yeah.
it connected to the other room. This room is the rose room.
This would be great for an escape room.
Yeah.
I mean, you all would make money hands over fist.
Well, when the house sat for so long, people were curious how come and they weren't able to like steal so much out of the home, and it's because it's so hard to get around the house. I mean, by the time you got in, you were like, where do I go? But yeah, it's just crazy. It's literally like a fun house and a maze at the same time.
Yeah. Now this is
The rose room.
real quick. So let me get this. So this is a rose room.
Yes,
So what
for
is a
sure.
rose room?
So the rose room is actually Dore's bedroom. We have our cardboard cutout right here. There's also an image of her here. You're probably wondering if this is a bedroom, where would the bed go? So the bed would have actually gone all throughout here. So it would have been a full-size bed, and it would have been all throughout here, so she could have shimmied right through the side to get to the other side of the room.
Okay. So rose room is not an actual name for a room. They just named it.
That's what they
rose
named it,
room.
yeah. So
Okay.
they painted it when she moved up to the room. I believe she was 16 at the time, and it was like her 16th birthday gift. So, yeah.
Get your own room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then her brother Gilmer's room was right across the hall from her.
Okay.
So that's the blue room. But something also fun to note in here, this is her wedding fan. So it has all the different embellishments, and it's just beautiful, but we're grateful to have it on display so people can see all of the sparkleness within it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if 90% of the things in here are original, I mean, this is really a very unique historic site for sure.
Yeah.
So you all make sure to come out to Kerner's Folly and check it out. How were they in the community? Like, were they loved in the community? Or did they have a lot of events, parties, and dinners and stuff like that here?
They did. They did a lot of them within the reception room, and then they would also do a lot of plays up in the theater. After their first meeting with the different kids around town, they realized they needed more space. So Jule actually built the theater up the theater up on the top floor just for Polly Alice and all the kids in the community. So they were very loved. The library down on the first floor was actually used as the Kernersville library at the time.
Oh, okay.
So you could come in, get a book, talk to him for a bit, and then you could go home, read it, come back and get a different one if you wanted to.
So what was the drama?
There
Do
was
we have any stories?
No, not
For a house
really.
that looks like this, you're supposed to have some stuff. You know, you're supposed to have some
Some type of
juicy
something.
drama going on.
Yeah,
you know
and
what
it
I'm
was
saying?
really, it's cool to note that there wasn't really any.
Yeah, it
But it
is.
also kind of, it'd be fun to have something
No,
like
for
that
sure.
for sure. But they were really loved by the community, and they were just so welcoming. Like with the front door, it said, "Come in, you're at home."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, this is your home. Well, come in, see what it has to offer. But yeah, there really would have never been anything crazy. Probably the craziest thing would have been when Jule built the cemetery next door. But
That was it? Mm-hmm. And that was because the person who was taking care of them was an indigenous person,
Yeah.
and the family didn't want them buried together. So he was like, okay, fine.
we'll make it do. Yeah.
That's what's up.
There, she was enslaved before she actually lived here, and he helped free her. And she was like, I don't know where to go. I could go back to my family. And he was
Yeah.
like, if you want to stay here, you're part of the family.
Yeah.
So she ended up staying here. She was a nanny, but he also built the Aunt Dealey's cottage. So her cottage outside, it's right behind us, so she could still stay there and live
Yeah.
separate from the family if she wanted to.
We'll check that out a little bit later.
Yeah, Susanna's going to meet you in there later
Yeah,
and tell
yeah.
you all about it. So we're going to go into, you'll probably guess it, the blue room.
It's the blue room.
Yes.
There we go.
So this is Gilmer's room. He went to the Trinity Art School, which is now Duke University. So he was really big with music. He also loved to dress up as Napoleon. On the top of the ceiling, you'll see that we didn't paint over the violin, and that's because that was the instrument that he played. So we wanted to really show that the musical genius that was in the family.
Yeah.
Everyone did something. He played the violin. Polly Alice did piano, and they were just amazing musicians. They grew up in the home. Their teachers lived in the home with them. So
Are these his shoes?
they are his shoes. Yeah.
Check them out.
Yeah.
For those folks who love style.
And you also have a shoe mold up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gilmer, he actually went to law school, and then he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. So Jule was like, come back and work with the family until you figure it out. So he came back, worked with the family, went to some other World's Fairs. He has tons of diaries, and his really beautiful handwriting. It's really small, but it's cool to see all the details that he would include, just like his father would.
Yeah. He died in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
Was he living here?
No, he lived not far from
Meaning
here.
in Kernersville.
Yeah, so he actually moved to Washington with his wife, Susan.
Okay.
So they moved away. Dory actually just went to Oak Ridge. She didn't go
Okay.
far from here at all. The door over there, so this area used to be Jule's main living area.
Mm-hmm.
So this would have been his bedroom, and the door here would have led to his art studio.
Okay.
Yeah. And here's another just beautiful fireplace.
Yes, it is. I feel like this is a grand room right here. And it
It's
is.
beautiful. Let me move
My
out the way
God.
for you.
Look at this room.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot to take in when you walk in
This
here.
is a lot. Ceilings, everything's, nothing has changed. Y'all just kept it, right?
Well, this room has not been restored, so we haven't had a chance to
So
change
this
it yet.
room has not been restored. So that's good. But there's no planning to. Is
Not
it?
yet. So we are planning to, of course. It just takes a lot of time and fundraising to get the rooms back to what they used to be.
Okay.
But when we restore the rooms, it's good to note that we do them back to the height of the family living in the home.
Okay.
So that's why most of the rooms say, like, we don't have the horse port or the carriageway anymore, of course. But that's because that wasn't really the height of the family living in the home. But you'll see, like, the rose room has been restored, of course. The blue room has been, but we still have yet to do this room. This one will be a huge project,
Yeah.
especially with the murals
So
on
I'm
the
looking at
ceiling.
I was looking at the murals on the ceiling. Have you all identified artists and things like that that'll be doing that?
Caesar Milch would have been able to, like artists in the area.
Yeah. Like anyone with the restoration, do you all know who?
I think we're figuring it out. I believe Susanna met with someone recently to help
Okay.
try and figure out how we would go about restoring the murals.
I can imagine that it has to be a very unique skill to do this.
To do all of this.
Yeah, for
Absolutely. So this is the reception room. They would have held most of their parties in this room. You'll see here, Dora actually got married in this room. She is right here. And then there's Polly Alice, and then there's Jule, and then her husband Lance right next to her. So she didn't only get married in this room, she was also born in this room. So this room holds a lot of family ties to it. We also have some fun things to note, like the kissing corners. So say if you and your loved one wanted a moment to yourself, so you could go in this kissing corner. There's one on the other side of the fireplace. And then there's one
I didn't
right
know
there, and
that
on the other
kissing
side.
corners actually existed.
Yeah, it wasn't really a big thing or
Like-
anything. It was just something that Jule
That's
thought
something
was-
she made up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, okay.
I mean, he may not have made that. He may have saw it somewhere very well,
yeah.
but it's just cool to see the fun
Step
thing.
away for a second,
quirks.
right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, there's so many rooms in this house and so much square feet. You can duck off and hide anywhere.
Yeah, but you could definitely
But he was
hear.
like, no, this is going to be our kissing corner. I love
Yeah.
it.
And then you'll also see the chair here. This one only has 2 seats, so this would have been more so if you were married or had like your mother with you or something like that, you would have been here with like your spouse or someone. But say if you weren't married, you could sit in this conversation chair that had 3 seats. So you, your chaperone, and then the person that you were talking to at the time.
That's interesting.
We have different paintings up here. This
Do we
side-
know where he, got a lot of his stuff from? Like, did he get anything from overseas that
Some of
we
it
didn't
was,
have here?
for example, our Chinese cabinet right here.
Uh-huh.
That would have been brought in, but he would have seen stuff like that at like World's Fairs.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would have been brought in.
And how wealthy was his family?
Well, it helped that his grandfather settled the town, so
Yeah.
he had like the area, the land. I'm not sure the exact number scale of how wealthy he was, but he was rich in art. If you know what I mean. Like he just loved art and architecture, and he was really able to make good connections with people that could help him, like find furniture, design furniture like this. These pieces of furniture would have been put together in this room. But all of the furniture in here was designed by Jule, except for the Chinese cabinet and the chair next to it.
Okay.
Do you remember that red dressing case that we looked at at
Yes.
the beginning? So this is our tabernacle. Jule actually built this that way you could display the dressing case in here when it's completely open.
A home and a museum all at once. Okay. All right, so we're going up one more step.
Yeah, we're going up steps.
And there's 7 total, you said
3
3
floors,
floors, 7
7 levels.
levels. And this is not the theater room up here.
This is the
This
theater.
is, oh, wow, yes it is. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted you to walk first.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
crazy to see it.
Wow. Let's get a look at outdoors, Jule. Right. And now, dun da da.
This room's insane.
Boom.
You can really
This-
tell there are good acoustics in this room.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
All right, so we are in the theater room here at Kerner's Folly. A theater in a house.
In a privately owned
in
home. It's crazy.
1880s.
Yes.
Look at this room, y'all.
So the paintings on the ceiling were actually drawn or sketched out by Jule Körner, and then they were painted over by Caesar Milch. There are about 33 of these little cupids that you'll see throughout the room. I've only counted them like twice. I don't think I could do it a third time because there are so many in here. But over here, there's different paintings of places that he saw, and then around here, you'll see all the cupids throughout the room. But this would have been like the orchestra area. You can see in the picture here, there's Polly Alice and then Jule leaning behind her, just looking at what they're talking about for the play probably. And then you have the orchestra over here, and then they would have chairs all throughout here.
What has been written about some of the things that, transpired here, some of the plays and things like that?
There are tons of different like newspaper articles that we have throughout
But
our
no
archives.
personal family?
Nothing crazy, but we also have like the diaries that I mentioned from Gilmer. A lot of the stuff was documented through diaries back then, so that's where we get a lot of the information that we have today as well.
Okay. Anyone in particular that may have been in politics or anything like that identified coming through?
Not that I know of, nothing crazy. The only big politician that we would have had was when George Washington came through Kernersville, before it was Kernersville at the time, and he ate breakfast at the tavern, which is now Cake and All Things Yummy.
Here in Kernersville?
And there's a little plaque that you can see outside of Cake and All Things Yummy if you go visit it as well. Yeah. This would have been like the fire escapes. If you needed to get out of here, you could.
They had it covered.
Yes, he did. The stairs actually go down to the playrooms. So to kind of put you in perspective where we are in the house.
Yeah.
But this room could also get really warm at times. So say if you needed a minute outside, we had these 4 corners. So let me move this for you.
It feels good in here right now, I'll tell you that.
It does. Usually it's colder up here. But you could have gone outside through our little submarine hatch, and then you could have gone out on top of the roof. There was also a ladder on the side of the roof that you could have gone up, and you could have gone all the way to the flat point of the house up there. So you could really just go up there. You could see all the way out to like Pilot Mountain, so you could see about 40 miles away. It's crazy.
Man, you talk about your own playground.
Absolutely.
Just covered it
Especially
all.
with like the playrooms in here. Here.
So this is the stage.
And there are openings on all 4 corners of the house. So you could have gone out on this corner if you wanted to have a moment outside, or this corner. It really just depended on what you wanted. But he could have also have about 70 people sitting right here, and people giving plays up here. And to get backstage, you would actually go down the stairs on the back. But now we can seat about 50 people in here, just for code purposes. So we have different chairs here you'll see. That is because we have events throughout the year that we do up in the theater. We'll do live music. This year we've done stuff with Piedmont Wind Symphony, a residency with them. And we had 4 different themes. We've already done 2 of them, so we have 2 more to go. It's gonna be very exciting. But they'll come up here, play music, and people get to enjoy it. But you can actually hear the music all the way downstairs too, because just the way the staircase is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we headed now?
So now we're heading to the long room. So you'll go down the back of the stairs to
Okay.
get there. And there is a tiny railing on your right side. You're welcome to grab onto it if you need to.
I'm gonna test my abs.
And just watch your head as you go down. There's a little lip right there.
Okay. Yeah, I've been working out on my abs a little bit more. It's summertime coming up, so if I can get a little 2-pack.
Well, hopefully the weather clears up some, so that way it is summertime.
Yeah.
So this is the long room.
Okay.
You can kind of tell why it's
Yeah.
the longer room. So this room is actually pretty much the same length of the reception room. Originally, they would have done their plays in the reception room, but once they realized they needed more space, they actually moved everything up to the theater, so you could have closed these doors here if you needed to. And then you also had the mirrors here. So this is not the mirror with the diamond I was talking about. It's actually that one. Before we go over there, this room was where also the teachers lived and they slept. So imagine having your teachers live in your home with you all throughout the year. It's really fun to think about.
This goes to show that the village really did raise folks back then.
Yes, absolutely. So there's Jule there. It's like he was trying to get out of the picture.
Yeah.
But the long room has a fireplace on that side.
Okay.
Over there. We haven't restored this room yet. Hopefully we will be able to soon, but it's got a lot of fun history within it. For instance, just this bench here. It's lower to the ground so the kids could touch the floor with their feet if they wanted to. And then you also can see the different chalkboards here. I believe the one underneath that has one of the kids' names on it too.
Okay. Now the mirror that's diamond crusted.
Yeah, so this is it. You'll see it has a crack in it.
Yeah.
So that actually happened before they got the mirror. But it was so expensive that Jule was like, we'll still put it somewhere. Here, I'll show you. I'll show it. So it has all the little sparkles.
I do see it. Yeah, y'all see the sparkles?
But it's really fun. And sometimes you can, like, if you put your face in a certain way, it'll look like half your face is over here while the other half is, like, over there.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just a fun little quirk of the home as well. And then we went up the back stairs to get here. We went down the back stairs to get over here. The next room you go, or the next stairs we go down to, we won't be able to go into the room just because of the, we're still doing some restoration work in there. We're fixing something.
Okay.
But you can, it has a clear window so you can see in it as we walk by.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so this would have been the south stairs. Actually, we might be able to,
Oh.
here.
Have we like that's a basement. That's some we haven't been down there.
No, we haven't been down there.
Wow.
So this is the south guest room. This is the room we recently restored. We're just doing
Yeah,
a little
smells- the
touch-ups here
paint
and here.
smells- the
Yeah,
paint
we just
smells
can't go
fresh.
too far in. I don't know where they have fixed some different things.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
yeah, so that hole all the way down there above the little chamber pot, that is the window that led down to the next room, the main kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, to kind of put in perspective. The window here, you can see the top of the porch.
Yep.
So back then, Victorian ladies, they could have gone out and they could have sunbathed, but realistically, they still would have had all of their clothing on to still keep the pale skin.
Yeah. All right. I feel like I need to lose weight to navigate this house sometimes.
So this staircase is really small.
Yeah.
This would have connected to the stables. And here we go. Sorry, the texture.
No problem.
There we go. But this room originally would have been the stables. The long room, that yellow room we were in, would have been the upper hay lofts. And then the south guest room would have been the lower hay lofts. So you could have passed hay through right here. So you really wouldn't need big staircase to get up and down.
Okay.
Through this way, we have the den. So back then, we didn't really have a women's club. It was more of the embroidery club of Kernersville. But Polly Alice, she really kickstarted the whole movement with the women's club in Kernersville. It's still operating today. And then this is Aunt Dealey that we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we know her indigenous connections? Do we know which tribal affiliation?
We know a
or
little bit of it.
nation?
Susanna knows a lot more about it.
Okay. I guess we'll talk about that over there.
Yeah. But then she would have also helped with different embroidery work in here. This is a little quilt pattern that Polly Alice did, and she called it her crazy quilt. So it had different like patterns all throughout it.
I think it speaks to the time, though, to where Mr. Körner was looked at her as family,
like his mother,
right? Like his mother, which a lot of folks did during that time. You know, you see the deaths in the newspapers, Uncle such and such, Aunt such and such. You know, who were very vital in taking care of.
Yeah, well, they
these
called her Aunt
individuals'
Dealey.
lives. Yeah,
her name was Clara though.
Yeah.
But she just really helps the family, and he helped her. So it's,
that's how it works.
yeah, it's a family.
Dealy, Aunt Dealey. Shout out to you.
But this also was just the den. This little boot couch is cool to look at. It was built to go perfectly right in this spot.
Yes, it was.
Most of our boot couches open up so you could put like shoes in there or different things that you had. So if you had a cane or something.
Okay.
As we go further down, this is the library. So you're probably thinking something huge with tons of books, but we have different books all throughout here that would have been original to the home.
Yeah. Samantha at Saratoga by Josiah Allen's wife. That's interesting.
We also have the Crisis in here, which is fun to look at. I believe it's on the next one down.
This one down?
Yeah.
Art songs.
Yeah, the Crisis right
Yeah,
here,
I see
Winston.
it. Yeah, Winston Churchill. And this served as the library for Kernersville.
Yeah,
At
so
one point.
different people, friends could come in. That was the original stable house.
Okay.
So that would have been down the street by that playhouse or by the playground that we saw. But back then we didn't really have television, of course. So back then they would have read like chapters to each other or books to each other, and that would have really been done in here. This was Polly Alice's one of her favorite rooms of the house, just because she was able to relax with her family and spend time with them, which is very important back then, spending time with family and loved ones.
We got away from that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So this has been great, the inside of this house. And we're going to go to Aunt Dealey's.
Yeah, Aunt Dealey's, and you'll also be able to see
next.
the pergola and the privy when you walk by.
So what joy does it bring for you to be able to educate people about this very, very unique house?
It brings me a ton of joy. I accidentally will find myself going on tangents about all different things within the house just in the foyer because of how exciting just that room is. But I also just enjoy sharing little pieces of history, but also pieces of architectural details that really aren't used or seen today, like within the molding or the wallpapers, just to be able to point out how much work it took to put it together and how much time it took as well, just putting all the effort into something just like at home.
And where can people find you all on online and on social media?
They can find us through our website, kernersfolly.org. They can also find us on Instagram with just Kerner's Folly, same with Facebook, Kerner's Folly as well.
Okay, good stuff. Well, listen, I greatly appreciate this. This has been wonderful. We covered 6,000 square feet.
We did.
Well, 5,997 square feet pretty quickly.
3 floors, 7 levels, and we saw 15 fireplaces,
Yes.
so tons of stuff.
Absolutely. And so you all know my tagline. If you enjoy this type of underrepresented content, you know, I mean, this is small town USA, which is why I love coming to small towns across America, in particular the South, because I'm a Southerner. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, and share this video. Peace.